video, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get started. We'll kick things off with the MSI Mag B660M Mortar Wi-Fi, the best budget Intel gaming motherboard. This board has a compact design and is compatible with Intel 12th generation Pentium Gold and Celeron processors. The chipset is the B660, which allows us to overclock our RAM and maximize the performance of this component. And since we're talking about RAM, we can install a total of 128GB DDR4 with dual-channel technology and XPMP support. The integrated graphics supports a maximum resolution of 4K at 60Hz using HDMI 2.1 or DisplayPort 1.4. The board has a VRM composed of a total of 13 plus 1 power stages, with a dual 8-pin connector to properly power the most sensitive and demanding components. In addition, the board has a digital PWM controller to precisely manage the power supply of our processor. To keep all of this stuff cool, MSI implements a high-performance cooler, along with a thermal pad that ensures even high-end processors run at full speed with MSI motherboards. Moving on to the storage section, we start with the highest performance we can find on the motherboard, the M2 slots. We find two M2 ports, which have PCIe 4.0 compatibility only in both cases. Unlike the previous model, the device utilizes a heat shield to improve heat dissipation and prevent performance issues. As for connectivity, we find a Wi-Fi 6 connection, compatible with the 6 GHz spectrum, providing up to 4 times the network capacity and efficiency in high signal density environments. The device also includes Bluetooth 5.2 connectivity. For the listed price, we're thoroughly impressed. The next product is the Asus ROG Strix B550E Gaming, the best budget AMD gaming motherboard. The manufacturer has pushed this chipset to the limit to provide it with support for RAM memories up to 5100 MHz and high overclocking capacity thanks to the VRM, with 14 plus 2 real power stages. And wait until you see the design, because you will definitely fall in love with it. The model combines good coolers and 2 M.2 slots with an aggressive ROG aesthetic. The external connectivity consists of 7 USB ports and an unusual addition USB-C for audio, in addition to implementing a new AI noise-canceling feature in its Super ME-FX codec. In it, you cannot miss 2.5G LAN and Wi-Fi 6 as a good E-variant. The design has been vastly improved over the previous generation and now comes in matte dark gray with a white model-style screen print. All coolers are made of aluminum. Focusing on the upper half, the double block of passive heat sinks responsible for cooling the 16-phase VRM definitely stands out. These two blocks have a rib design to improve the result and facilitate the passage of air through them. We continue to the lower half, where we have a total of 3 coolers, a passive block for the chipset, and 2 coolers for the M.2 slots. They're all aluminum, and the fact that they're independent makes SSD installation pretty easy. In the Asus ROG Strix B550E Gaming, a total of 6 4-pin headers are installed for ventilation, 1 for the pump and 2 for the CPU. This time we only have the connector for the external thermal sensor, although it's not included. The RAM support of the Asus ROG Strix B550E Gaming has increased on this new platform, so much so that it even surpasses the top Intel and other AMD motherboards. A total of 128GB of DDR4 RAM can be supported thanks to 4 DIMM slots that support dual channel. Peak speeds are an incredible 5100 plus MHz OC for the next generation Ryzen and 4600 plus MHz for the 3rd generation Ryzen, thanks to Optimum 2 technology. For the listed price, you can't beat this one. Up next, we present to you Gigabyte Z690 Aorus Xtreme, the best high-end Intel gaming motherboard. Based on the Intel Z690 chipset with PCIe 5 and DDR5 support for top-tier gamers who want to get the most out of the 12th gen Alder Lake architecture, we are looking at a larger number of plugins for all tastes and configuration types. This model features Intel's new LGA 1700 socket supporting the 12th generation Intel Core, providing a 100% digital PWM controller with an intelligent power stage and 20 plus 1 plus 2 direct digital VRM. The VRM area features passive heat sinks built around a Nano-Carbona Direct Touch heat pipe 2 that adds an 8mm heat pipe to reduce the heat generated by the device. The board adds huge thermal protection that Gigabyte calls Thermal Guard Extreme, which also, like the rest of the cooler, we have a total of 4 NVMe N.2 PCIe SSDs in stock. With an unusual structure, the motherboard connectors are located at a 90-degree position to make everything more convenient and efficient. In addition to the main 24-pin power connector, there are also those for ventilation. With this motherboard, its best ally is no less than the 12th generation Core i9 12900K processor that has a TDP of 125 volts, that includes 8 high-performance cores and another 8 high-efficiency cores with up to 24 execution threads. The typical operating frequency is 3.2 GHz, while in overclock, it reaches 5.2 GHz. Or a Z690 Extreme motherboard runs smoothly with Intel Z690 chipset and uses 16x PCIe 4.0 slot for RTX 3070 FE graphics card. The motherboard has 2 RGB light zones located on mirror surfaces. When the system is powered up, its RGB can be perfectly appreciated with a truly elegant aesthetic. To conclude, undoubtedly, we're dealing with an extreme board in terms of both quality and quantity of features for those who need to build the best next-generation PC without spending limits. If you can afford this beast, we say go for it. Up next, we present to you the Asus ROG X570 Crosshair 8 Hero, which in our opinion is the best AMD gaming motherboard. These boards have the latest AMD chipset, the X570, which is designed to get the most out of the new CPUs, as well as including the latest market innovations such as PCIe 4.0. For this occasion, we have the Asus X570 Crosshair 8 Hero in front of us, a top Asus motherboard that belongs to the ROG series. For the PCB, the chosen color is black with a protective frame in the central part of the motherboard that includes the chipset fan. For cooling the VRM of the motherboard, we have 2 black aluminum heat sinks connected by a nickel-plated copper heat pipe. We also have 3 PCIe 4.0 16K ports, 2 controlled by the CPU and 1 chipset. 2 of them are protected by steel to prevent damage and provide more robustness. For audio, Asus has the well-known Supreme FX 8-channel high-definition gold-plated codec, which includes a high-quality DAC with 120 decibel SNR stereo. All this together with the excellent software offered by the ROG range will delight many of us. The familiar start button will allow you to turn the equipment on, as well as turn it off if you leave it pressed. Very useful, especially for quick overclocking tests without a tower. As noted, the motherboard has 16 phases. Also, you have the Asus Suite, which allows you to control all configurable aspects of the motherboard. We'll be able to overclock the CPU, control voltages, fans, phase performance, monitor components, a wide range of useful options. This is a quality product, and all we can do is recommend it. Finally, we present to you the MSI MPG Z690 Carbon Wi-Fi, which in our opinion is the best overall gaming motherboard on the market. With these models, we can expect the best integration and use of the chipset that's used in addition to the fast USB connection for the front and rear connectors. The Intel Z690 provides us with the right environment, so this new generation of processors and memories can use its full potential. The Intel Z690, however, is complete with an important renewed connection, highly oriented to PCI Express 4.0 without increasing its normal consumption of 6-volt TDP, which allows it to create passive solutions using this standard when AMD at the time has to demand motherboards with a fan. The Intel Z690 has another important connectivity innovation because it now has up to 12 PCI Express 4.0 lines that can be distributed in turn into 16 PCI Express 3.0 lines. 4 are used for the DMI 4.0 interface, so that leaves us with 8 that the integration can use as desired. USB connectivity remains the same, as does support for audio and network interfaces, with direct support for 2.5 GBE or Wi-Fi 6E networks. To all this, we must add the essential capacity of the new processors, with a new, larger LGA 1700 socket with an expanded anchor for fixing the CPU to provide its own PCI Express connection, which is remarkable. Also, MSI MPG Z690 Carbon Wi-Fi has 5 slots that support PCI Express 4.0. Another special feature of this slot is that it has MSI's dual cooling system. This system adds not only an upper aluminum heatsink with high-quality contact with the thermal pad, but also adds the same contact mass and another layer of aluminum heatsink to the front of the unit. This board has at least 2 of the most interesting connectors. USB connectivity, on the other hand, is much more complex. We start with a powerful rear USB-C port with USB 3.2 Gen 2 2x2 capability at up to 20 gigabytes per second connection speed, and continue with a wide portfolio of ports. Overall, this product delivers premium quality at the best possible price-quality ratio. You wanted the best? You got it. So that's it for the top 5 best gaming motherboards, and like, comment, and subscribe to receive the notifications about our latest video.